Hello students, welcome back to the biology class. In the last class we started the regulation of the gene expression. We understood that how Jacob and Monod, two French scientists, they performed experiment on E. coli and they came up with the concept of operon. We learned that operon is the smallest segment of DNA which consists of one or more structural genes, and the operator gene of these structural genes along with the promoter along with the repressor gene, and the repressor gene is in NCERT is called as the regulatory gene along with its promoter. So we learned that the first operon explained or described or discovered by these scientists was the lac operon, and we understood that now there are many operons which are even mentioned in the NCERT. There are two types of operon or operating systems in which are inducible or repressible. We understood that the inducible operon are those which are generally in their switch off mode, and the reason is there is nothing to perform metabolism, so that's why these genes are switched off. But as soon as the inducer enters into the scenario, these genes will become operational, and that means it becomes switched on of the operon. That's why they are called as inducible operons. And the second one we understood in the last class was the repressible operon. Now these operons are generally in their switch on mode, so they continue to synthesize. That means they are continuously performing metabolic reaction, but as soon as there is accumulation of the product, that means extra product is there, or if there is availability of the product made from the outside, in that case these genes would be switched off. That means they are generally switched on, and they would be switched off if there is the need to do so. So we learned that the switching off genes will undergo switching on with the help of inducer in the case of inducible operon system. We understood that there is an enzyme which is very essential in this process in the E. coli, and that is the permease enzyme in the case of the lac operon. Lactose metabolism is performed by three genes, or you can call them as three structural genes, ZYA. We understood that the Z gene responsible for formation of the beta galactosidase enzyme, which is important to convert or to digest lactose into one molecule of glucose and one molecule of galactose. Y gene responsible for formation of permease enzyme, and the reality is but that the lac operon is always working in a very low level. Generally it is not switched off completely. It will continue to function at the lowest level so that it can continuously prepare permease enzyme, because there can be availability of lactose anytime. So if permease is not available, like permease means permeability inducing enzyme, so lactose cannot enter inside, and if lactose does not enter inside, then lac operon can never become switched on. That's why low level, NCERT also says low level of expression is always there, and this is responsible for the lactose to enter into E. coli. And then we understood the third gene, which is the A gene, responsible for formation of trans-acetylase enzyme. It does not play any direct role in this metabolism, but its main role is detoxification, which I discussed in the last class. So I told you that there are two diagrams which you have to understand in this concept. One diagram in the absence of inducer and the second one in the presence of inducer. So if the inducer is absent, now NCERT is calling inducer as lactose as well as allolactose. Allolactose is the isomeric form of lactose. On the next sheet I will be explaining about these two diagrams. So as long as inducer is absent, the regulatory gene will synthesize the mRNA, which will cause the formation of protein repressor, and this repressor will successfully join with the operator to form a complex called as operator repressor complex. And now the RNA polymerase enzyme might be able to join here but cannot move over to read these structural genes, so transcription will not take place. Now This happens whenever there is an abundant amount of glucose available. The decrease in the amount of glucose will cause increase in the amount of cyclic AMP, and this will cause switching on of the inducer. So when glucose amount is high, cyclic AMP will be less. As long as cyclic AMP is less, this will continue to remain in switched off mode. Now the second thing to understand is in the presence of inducer. As soon as the inducer comes into picture, NCERT calls inducer as lactose as well as allolactose. Now what will happen is this the repressor has two attachment site or allostric site of your 11th class syllabus. Now at one side it attaches to the operator. At the other side it can attach with the inducer. So as soon as inducer comes into the picture, it will attach with the repressor and then bring three-dimensional change in the protein or enzyme, and this will cause the change in the 3D structure of the in the repressor structure, and now repressor is no more able to join with operator. So as soon as operator is made free, RNA polymerase enzyme will come and attach with the promoter with the help of the cap site, also called as CRP site, and now it will start reading the whole set of structural gene. And now the mRNA formed is called as the LAC mRNA. In the last class I finished with this word, that this is it's a polycistronic mRNA, because from the same mRNA more than one polypeptide or enzymes are getting formed. Now this will cause the lactose to be digested into glucose and galactose.